Well, the key benefits we're getting out of Queen of Calves, I think, is increased production and better fertility rates.
We've seen some pretty impressive milk responses. We've seen virtually zero empty rate, and we're seeing huge weights on our calves that everyone talks about.
Hello there, I'm Mark Leishman. Queen of Calves is a unique calf nutrition program developed here in New Zealand. It's a natural product made from plant extracts. In the next few minutes, you'll hear from a number of farmers who've raised their calves on the program. They've observed how these calves have grown, weaned, and then gone on to produce and reproduce after entry to the milking herd.
We're getting animals coming into the herd and they're bigger, stronger. They're ready for work. They're ready to pump some milk out.
Queen of Calves heifers, as milking heifers, they outmilked the 3-year-olds, which was quite a surprise to us. And then the following lactation, when they were 3-year-olds, they outmilked the 4-year-olds.
Last year, the 2-year-olds averaged 414 milk solids, and they were about 85% of the 5-year-olds' production.
The 2-year-olds averaged 432 kilos last year in 297 days on herd test, and the whole herd averaged 490.
We got an extra 60 to 80 kilos in our first lactation at $7. You know, between $400 and $500 extra in the first year.
Carol keeps records, very, very detailed records and data for years and years, and all the figures back it up. The calves are 30% ahead of the other years. And I mean, the yearlings weighed with 300 kgs on the 1st of September.
Milk solid production's definitely gone up. Like this last year's heifers averaged 474 kilograms of milk solids in 286 days.
The Queen of Calves ones that have been in the herd for the 3 lactations, we've had 1 empty.
We had no empties in their second matings, which is pretty phenomenal, really.
Reproductive-wise, it means with our low empty rate, we can actually cull more on production and other factors rather than having to get rid of empty cows, which is a real bonus.
Jenny McGiven is a qualified vet and dairy farmer. After 7 seasons of observing better growth rates using the Queen of Calves program, her experiences mirror a fertility survey involving over 3,900 heifers from 34 farms throughout New Zealand, all raised on the Queen of Calves program. The empty rate for these heifers was only 4.9% in a 6-week mating period. According to Dairy NZ in-calf data, only the top 25% of dairy calves in New Zealand meet these standards. So the outstanding fertility performance of these Queen of Calves raised heifers outperforms 75% of dairy cows. If better fertility is a direct byproduct of growing healthier calves from day one, then let's hear what some of the other benefits are.
The calves are well grown and we get them up to weights easily. It makes a good calf rearer better, I guess.
They look really big. You think they're cows, but they're actually heifers.
The biggest driver for me for using Queen of Calves is their growth. So not so much, I'm not seeing much difference in the weaned calf. I'm seeing phenomenal difference from weaning to 2 years old.
These calves had grown a very big bone, and we sort of thought, where did they come from? They were a much bigger, well-developed animal. So we didn't notice the results at weaning time. It was later on as they developed. You don't get fat calves with it, you get lean, mean machines, really.
The calves have grown out longer, probably a wee bit bigger in the frame, but they're not as fat. But you can see the potential of the animal a lot more. They certainly have got a better stretch than what they used to have. Yes, definitely.
We're rearing 1,200 calves a year. Animal health-wise, we don't have any issues. We have calves that don't scour, we have calves that don't get any disease. We find it very easy to mix, we've got good systems, and we have very, very few animal health issues.
I just seem to get less crook calves. You know what it's like when you get a crook calf. you spend so many hours just dealing with them and trying to get them right. If they don't get crook in the first place, you know, you're up and away.
This season calves are definitely bigger and healthier, and what amazes me how quiet they are, but they're definitely showing good frame, good body condition.
We find that the combination of X Factor and Queen of Calves just gets our calves off to a flying start. The heifers that are standing behind us now, they've just been AI'd, 16 months of age. Target weight as of yesterday was 386 kgs of live weight. Average live weight for this mob was 435. That's to hit a live weight target of 510 kilos on the 1st of May.
We were near the end of our calving pattern, and I got an outbreak of, and I wasn't using Queen of Calves, I was just milk, ad-libbing milk, doing a really good job, spraying my pens religiously, really careful, and I got rotavirus through my calves, and I lost probably 15 or so, which was really horrifying. In desperation, I'm not sure if I heard from my sister Georgia about Queen of Calves, but somewhere along the line, Queen of Calves came into my focus, and I rang Glenn, and he immediately came out and talked with me, and he said, even though I was quite a way down my system, let's start them on Queen of Calves and get the young ones as they're coming in straight away with X Factor and Queen of Calves, and honestly, they just picked up. The problem cleared very quickly, and the calves that had been unwell, that had been resuscitated essentially, were, you know, went on to Queen of Calves, and they were fine. They were really good.
Generally, I've had 2 years where I haven't had any calves die inside the shed, and I think that's from feeding Queen of Calves. When you go in there, they're shiny, healthy, happy calves. Massey's scientific research just gives me great confidence, and it's proven data, so it's confidence in using this Queen of Calves product.
The Queen of Calves program is the only New Zealand calf nutrition system to be reviewed by experts for the world's most prestigious dairy publication, the US Journal of Dairy Science. This peer review endorses Massey University's findings that calves on the Queen of Calves program had improved early weight gains and growth development compared to calves not reared on the program, and that they produced significantly more milk in their first lactation. Well, let's hear from the animal nutritionist who has researched the science behind Queen of Calves.
One of the main limiting growth factors for dairy calves is energy, and Queen of Calves is adding energy, but it's not from a fat source. So it's enhancing the digestion of the nutrients from the milk, including the milk fat as an energy source, but it's also adding energy from non-milk fat or non-fat sources. So that encourages growth rate, but lean growth rate. That higher growth rate means you get better development in the mammary gland in that early phase, and that's quite clearly been seen to increase milk yield, and that's exactly what we found with the Queen of Calves program here.
Science has now established a direct link between the Queen of Calves program and increased milk production in the heifer's first lactation. If you're unsure that the results of the Massey study can be achieved on your farm, here's what Auckland University has to say about a 2-year study involving close to 7,000 Queen of Calves raised cows. The results represented all 3 major dairy cow breeds throughout New Zealand.
Our complete data involving 6,900 cows on the Queen of Calves program across various breed types and regions of New Zealand showed that the Queen of Calves cows produced 18% more than the national average.
As a dairy researcher previously with Fonterra, I've seen incremental gains that have been achieved through a series of different research programs, but nothing actually comes close to the sort of numbers we've seen on the Queen of Calves program. 18% is a very significant increase, and it's achievable over a very short period of time.
At a $7 payout, it's claimed that the gains from adopting this program, based on the average herd size of 384, are worth an additional $19,000 from the first heifer lactation alone. Well, let's hear how a leading New Zealand economist equates the enhanced growth and weaning improvements into productivity gains.
One of the interesting things about this product is it gives what economists call a real productivity increase. So in the case of dairy farms, more milk production from the same inputs, which is basically cows, feed, staff, all of those sort of things you need to actually run a farm. And this can be easily illustrated with just a simple calculation, and you can run the assumptions yourself. Start off with the average per cow production in New Zealand, which is about 330 kilograms of milk solids per cow. The claimed increase from Queen of Calves is an 18% increase in milk production. So that takes you from 330 to 390. So that's a marginal 60 increase in the amount of milk solids your cow's producing every year. Let's just assume a milk price of $7. So $7 times 60 kilograms is $420 per year of extra revenue you're getting from the cow. Let's assume our cow lasts for 5 lactations, so that's 5 years. So that comes to $2,100 is the extra revenue you're getting over the 5 years from using Queen of Calves. Last thing we need to do is take away the purchase price of your Queen of Calves product, and you're a net $2,020 per cow better off.
It's about return on capital, and that means that we don't like to spend money if we don't have to. But still we choose to use Queen of Calves because we think it's worthwhile. We get our money back with the production the cows give extra. So we continue. I've ordered my next lot already. It's up in the shed.
It's one of the best investments we've made. I mean, I'm a mean person, you know. I looked at the cost of it as well, you see. But I mean, the cost is insignificant compared to the results that we've got.
Every year it's factored into the budget. It's just like I say to my husband, Grant, well, Queen of Calves is a must and I'm carrying on.
This program is not a silver bullet. Successful calf rearing is a combination of nurturing skills, good stockmanship and science. The only real change to your farming system is taking the time to mix the powders into milk. Queen of Calves and X Factor are not milk powders. The science shows that when they are added to milk, they change the way the milk behaves in the digestive system. They enable milk to be far better utilised and to optimise the protein and energy absorption. So it's not just the breeding that matters, it's the feeding.
Because you're getting such a well-grown animal from the start, you're getting it into them from the beginning, those are the most critical weeks and months of their life, this early development. It sets them right for 2-year-olds. And 2-year-olds, what's the plan for 2-year-olds? Well, calf in their belly and milk in the vat. Beautiful.
We're stoked with our heifers coming through and the production they're doing. And we can tell by the milk checks, you know, with how much we've lifted farm production by just growing our young stock better and not having that low production coming into the herd every year.
If you choose not to do it, you're missing out on, you know, 6 or 7 years of benefits, just for the sake of, you know, 1 year that you didn't want to do it.
It's so worthwhile. You've got a cost initially that's paid back multiple times when they're older. But you're going to get a larger, more robust animal that is going to perform exceptionally well within her contemporary age group and within the whole herd. And she will produce for you.